Hi there, and thank you for watching this video. Embattled airline Go Air has announced yet again that they are delaying the restart of operations for operational reasons. Those operational reasons being that they are in insolvency court. Now, the fact of the matter is that I genuinely do not believe that Go Air will ever get its wings off the ground again. And I do not mean this as an insult to the hardworking employees of Go Air, many of whom have left for better climes such as Air India or Indigo. To the rest of them still working in Go Air, I would recommend, if they can, to please get out of the airline because I do not see a great future for the airline. In the past week itself, the creditors of the airline, that include the Central Bank of India, have changed the RP that was appointed by the Wadias first. The banks are really scared about the dues they are owed. Central Bank of India is owed over 1,600 crore or $200 million by the airline, and the total debts of the airline now are in excess of 3,000 crores. I don't see the banks ever seeing too much of that money again. And one major reason for this, and one reason that the Go Air crisis is different from the Jet Airways crisis, is that Go Air really doesn't own that many assets. Now, it's been argued in courts, in the NCLT, in the NCLAT, and now in the Supreme Court it will be argued, how can Go Air keep assets that are not owned by it, that is the aircraft? Now, the analogy I want to give over here is, say you buy a new car, and this new car has a revolutionary new battery by some reason that improves your fuel economy. It could be powering the start-stop system, to give an example, but okay, bear with me here. Now, the battery doesn't work in the heat and dust of Delhi, and therefore you cannot use that car, and you refuse to pay for that car. But you go to court and tell the bank you can't take that car back, or you can't even take back the other car of mine, which is actually working quite well right now. And the court agrees with you. Okay, we won't let you, the creditor, that is the bank, take away the car that doesn't work or the car that does work because you've asked us that question. Do you see the problem here? Do you think that would happen if it happened to you? Now, of course, you can rightly claim that the battery not working on the new car wasn't your fault. That is the same situation as it has happened with Go Air and the Pratt & Whitney GTF engines on their A320neo aircraft. But again, over here, Pratt & Whitney is to be blamed. But Go Air's problems go back further than just the problems with the Pratt & Whitney engines. It's always been a company that's been on the edge of survival. It's had its problems. But of course, Pratt & Whitney aircraft not operating is a major reason that the airfares have spiked up in India. There's a lot of demand but not enough supply. A story came out that a lot of airlines, including Air India and Vistara and Indigo, have managed to fly passengers at the highest fare bracket on routes where Go Air was very strong. Those routes include Delhi-Leh, Delhi-Srinagar, Mumbai-Goa, Delhi-Goa, and Go Air's collapse has allowed these guys to make more money. The month of May was the biggest month ever in Indian aviation. Indian aviation is booming. They're going to have a fantastic first quarter. They'll likely have a fantastic second quarter as well. However, I also believe that if the NCLT, the National Company Law Tribunal, or the NCLAT, where the leasing companies went, that is the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, allowed the leasing companies to retake some of the aircraft that Go Air has successfully managed to keep with themselves. These are not aircraft owned by Go Air again, these are owned by the leasing company. They might have gone to other Indian airlines such as Indigo or even Air India or Vistara, even though Air India and Vistara do not operate the geared turbofan engines on their fleet of neo aircraft. If they had gone back, Maybe they could have deployed some additional capacity. Now, keep in mind, 14 of Go Air's aircraft were fully functional at the time the airline declared itself insolvent. So maybe these 14 additional aircraft could have operated many, many more flights. Now, the fact of the matter is, with so many aircraft grounded all over India due to the GTF issue, we are losing almost 1 million seats of capacity every single day. Now, these aircraft had been operating both domestic and international routes. There's not much the government can do on this. The Pratt & Whitney gear turbofan has been creating issues not just in India but across the world. KLM is having problem with the Embraer E2 aircraft. Air Baltic has had problems with the A220 aircraft. And on the Embraer E2 and the A220, the gear turbofan by Pratt & Whitney is the sole engine choice, so that's a problem. And of course, other airlines are having problem with their NEOs as well. That is Turkish, that is as well as Air New Zealand and Hawaiian. But given the size of the fleet of Indigo's had the most severe problems. So what here now? I don't think Go Air will fly again. But I do think the Supreme Court of India will have to take a call on what are called as third-party assets. Go Air cannot fly without those planes, but they do not own those planes. Is it fair to get a stay order on the leasing companies from taking the planes away? In Chapter 11 bankruptcy, you're protected from your creditors, but if the creditors own assets, they can take them away. That is why most airlines in the US, including Southwest, own some of their own aircraft, because if the worst happens, at least they will have a fleet. Jet Airways, despite all its flaws, own some of their own aircraft. You can see them at Mumbai and Delhi airport, some of these unfortunate hulks of Boeing 777s and A330s rusting away, and that's a terrible, terrible, terrible sight. But they own some of their own aircraft. So if Jet Airways ever did get permission to fly again, they could actually use their own aircraft, if they've got them operational again, that is, and fly again. So let's see what happens from a legal standpoint, but I don't see them flying again. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great weekend, and do subscribe to my channel for more such videos on these issues.